remains as if women mattered. As feminists, we together have learned that women and girls are always worth paying close attention to, not because they are always heroic or admirable, though often they are. All sorts of women and girls are worth paying close, sustained attention to because they're interesting. They help us to understand how the world works and why. Put negatively, if we do not pay serious attention to the complexities of diverse women's ideas and wartime experiences, we risk missing or misunderstanding the causes and consequences of wars. That's a risk that none of us can afford to take in today's fragile, interconnected world. The 12 lessons to follow are ones that we, together, have learned from taking women's lives seriously. They are lessons grounded in the messy realities of vastly different women's lives. However, they are not the 12 lessons. These are 12 lessons and counting. There will be more. Feminists stay curious. It has taken scores of feminists to keep my eyes open. Jimena took me on a driving tour of Santiago to show me where Pinochet's military had set up torture chambers in ordinary apartment houses, in suburban homes. Sister Soledad described the system around U.S. Navy bases that prostituted Filipinas. Insuk opened my eyes to militarism inside a pro-democracy movement. Rayla introduced me to the Haifa Women in Black. Ruri showed me the brightly neon-lit shopping area where the Tokyo Women in Black stood vigil every Friday night. Aisha introduced me to Kurdish women in southeastern Turkey who had opened a restaurant as a way to tackle domestic violence in a war zone. Madeline tutored me in the UN's Byzantine patriarchal ways. Nella took me on a walk up the steep hill overlooking Sarajevo, so I could imagine the perches from which the snipers picked off civilians as they dashed out to do desperate errands during the Yugoslav War. I've been lucky. So many women doing gender justice and peace activism and research have shared with me their experiences and what they have learned from those experiences. The 12 feminist lessons of war here flow directly from the grounded knowledge they have accumulated over decades. I'm happily in their debt. 1. Women's wars are not men's wars. Svetlana was wearing her warmest parka. She had her iPhone securely tucked into her jeans pocket and a knapsack on her back, containing her Ukrainian passport, snacks, laptop, 2 chargers, tampons, extra sweaters for the children, and a few family photos that she could grab in haste as they fled. Her youngest child was holding tightly to her right hand. Thank goodness she was now old enough to walk. With her left hand, Svetlana pulled a roller bag filled with clothes for what might be weeks, possibly months away. Her 8-year-old daughter, trying not to lose sight of her mother and little sister on the crowded Kyiv train platform, was carrying her brightly colored school bag. Svetlana's own mother wouldn't leave her own farming village. It was her home, she explained, even if Russian missiles were destroying its houses and silos. Instead, she insisted that Svetlana should take her granddaughters to safety. Svetlana and her partner, her daughter's father, had said their rushed goodbyes outside the station, each avoiding mentioning her lost job and his deployment to the Eastern Front, reassuring each other that they would phone and text daily. For now, Svetlana had become a single parent, a single wartime parent. On a Warsaw train platform that same day, Agnieszka was working with volunteer women drivers. As Ukrainian refugee women had begun to pour into Poland, Agnieszka and other Polish feminists had become alarmed at the prospect of sex traffickers seizing on the chaos.